Jai Ho. Pamangyaram Tiram Jasya Gyanangana Shalakaya Chakshulamityam Yena Tasmai Shugure Namaha. Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Dev Goswami Raja Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Raja Ki Jai. Okay, we've been reading from Sanatana Goswami Visits the Lord. It's from the Antya Leela's second volume, chapter 4. Just briefly recap. Sanatana Goswami is returning from Vrindavan. On the way, he's taken some dirty water from a kund and has developed a serious illness, and he has sores all over his body which are damp and wet and separating pores, and he feels he's worthless, and he feels he should commit suicide, and the Lord corrects him on this, chastises him, says that your body is dedicated to my service. It's my decision to decide what happens in your body. And he decides to follow the Lord's orders. The Lord, he's afraid that the Lord, shy for the Lord to embrace him and recalls from the Lord, but the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forcibly embraces him. And so we continue. And where we left off, roughly.
What's the title of the chapter?
It's Sanatana Goswami Visits the Lord. Yes. So the Lord says to Sanatana Goswami, Kubudi Chadiya Kara Shravana Kirtana Achirad Pavitabi Krishnera Charana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, give up all your nonsensical desires, for they are unfavorable for getting shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Engage yourself in chanting and hearing, then you will soon achieve the shelter of Krishna without doubt. Nicha Jati Nahe Krishna Bhajane Ayogya, Satkula Vipra Nahe Bhajanera Yogya. A person born in a low family is not unfit for discharging devotional service to Lord Krishna, nor is one fit for devotional service simply because he is born in an aristocratic family of brahmanas. Yabhaja se bhada bhakta hinachara Krishna bhajane nahi jati kuladi vichara. Anyone who takes to devotional service is exalted, whereas a non-devotee is always condemned and abominable. Therefore, in the discharge of devotional service to the Lord, there is no consideration of the status of one's family. Dinera dika daya kare bhagavan, kolina pandita danira bada abhiman. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is always favorable to the humble and meek, but aristocrats, learned scholars and wealthy are always proud of their positions. Viprad Vishad Guna Yutad Aravindan Habha Padaravinda Vimuktat Svachapam Varishtam Manyatad Arpita Mano Vachane Hitarta Pranam Punati Sakulam Na Tu Burim Manaha. One may be born in a Brahmana family and have all 12 Brahminical qualities, but if in spite of being thus qualified, he is not devoted to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who has a navel shaped like a lotus, he is not as good as a Chandala, who has dedicated his mind, words, activities and wealth and life to the service of the Lord. Simply to take birth in a Brahmana family or to have Brahminical qualities is not sufficient. One must be a pure devotee of the Lord. Thus, if a Shvapachapa or Chandala is a devotee, he delivers not only himself but his entire family as well, whereas a Brahmana who is not a devotee but simply has Brahminical qualifications cannot even purify himself, or to speak of his family. This is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 7th canto, 9th chapter, text 9. Bhajanera Madhya Shrestha Nava Vidhi Bhakti Krishna Prema Krishna Dite Dare Mahashakti. Among the ways of executing devotional service, the 9 prescribed methods are the best, for these processes have great potency to deliver Krishna an ecstatic love for him. The 9 kinds of devotional service are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, the 7th canto, the 5th chapter, text 23. They are Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma, Nivedanam. These 9 are hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna, offering service to Krishna's lotus feet, offering worship in the temple, offering prayers, working as a servant, making friendship with Krishna, and unreservedly surrendering to Krishna. These 9 processes of devotional service can grant one Krishna an ecstatic love for him. In the beginning, one has to discharge devotional service according to regulative principles. But gradually, as devotional service becomes one's life and soul, one achieves the most exalted position of ecstatic love for Krishna. Ultimately, Krishna is the goal of life. One need not have taken birth in an aristocratic Brahmana family to attain the lotus feet of Krishna, nor is a person born in a low family unfit to achieve Krishna's lotus feet. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 3rd canto, in the 33rd chapter, text 7, Devahuti says to Kapila Dev, Aho bhata swapacho to gariyan yaj jivagre vartate nama tobhyam tepus tapas te juvuhu sasnur arya brahmanuchur nama grananti yete. O my Lord, even a person born in a low family of dog eaters is glorious if he always chants the holy name of the Lord. Such a person has already performed all types of austerities, penances, and Vedic sacrifices, has already bathed in the sacred rivers, and has also studied all the Vedic literature. Thus, he has become an exalted personality. Similarly, Kunti Devi says to Lord Krishna, Janmaishvarya, Shutta Shribir, Edamana Madaha Puman, Naivarti Abid Hatum Vai, Abhidatum Vai, Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. A person who is proud of his birth, opulence, knowledge, and beauty cannot achieve your lotus feet. You are available only to the humble and meek, not to the proud. Srimad Bhagavatam, that's the 1st canto, 8th chapter, text 26. Tara Madhya Sarva Shrestha Nama Sankirtan Niraparade Nama Lail Le Paya Premadan. Of the 9 processes of devotional service, the most important is to always chant the holy name of the Lord. If one does so, avoiding the 10 kinds of offences, one easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu gives the following directions in his Bhakti Sandarbha. Chanting the holy name is the chief means of attaining love of Godhead. This chanting or devotional service does not depend on the paraphernalia, on any paraphernalia, nor on one's having taken birth in a good family. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. Therefore, if one becomes very humble and meek, he can easily attain the lotus feet of Krishna in this age of Kali. That is the fulfillment of all great sacrifices, penances, and austerities. Because when one achieves ecstatic love of Godhead, he attains the complete perfection of life. Therefore, whatever one does in executing devotional service must be accompanied with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, has been praised by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Namashtaka. Verse 1, which says, O Harinama, the tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly being worshipped by the glowing radiance emanating from the string of gems known as the Upanishads, the crown jewels of all the Vedas. You are eternally adored by liberated souls such as Narad and Shukadev. O Harinam, I take complete shelter of you. Similarly, Sri Sanatana Goswami praised the chanting of the holy name as follows in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, in chapter 1, verse 9. All glories to the all-blissful holy name of Krishna, which causes the devotee to give up all conventional religious duties, meditation and worship. When sama or other uttered even once by a living entity, the holy name awards him liberation. The holy name of Krishna is the highest nectar. It is my very life and my only treasure. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the second canto, first chapter, text 11, Sukadeva Goswami says, O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said in his Sri Shastaka, verse 3, Janadapi Sunichana Tarodapi Suhishnana Amanina Manadina Kitanya Sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of all false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Regarding the 10 offences in chanting the holy name, one may refer to Adi Leela, chapter 8, verse 24. Eta shuni sanatera haila chamatkara prabhurena bhaya mora marana vichara. After hearing this, Sanatana Goswami was exceedingly astonished. He could understand. My decision to commit suicide has not been greatly appreciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Savagna Mahaprabhu Nishadile More Prabhura Charana Dari Kahina Tanhare. Sanatana Goswami concluded, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who knows everything, past, present, and future, has forbidden me to commit suicide. He then fell down, touching the lotus feet of the Lord, and spoke to him as follows. Savagna Kripalu Tumi Ishvara Svatantra Yachena Chau Taichenachi Yekashta Vyantra. My Lord, you are the omniscient, merciful, independent Supreme Lord. Exactly like an instrument of wood, I dance as you make me do so. Nicha Adama Pamara Muni Pamara Svabhava Mujjaile Tamara Kiba Habe Labha. I am low born, indeed I am the lowest. I am condemned, for I have all the characteristics of a sinful man. If you keep me alive, what will be the profit? Prabhu Kai Tamara Deha More Nija Dana Tumi More Kariyacha Atma Samarpana. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, your body is my property. You have already surrendered unto me. Therefore you no longer have any claim to your body. Parera dravya tumi kena chaha vinashite dharma dharma vichara kiba na para karite. Why should you want to destroy another's property? Can't you consider what is right and wrong? Tumara sharira mora pradana sadhana isharira sadhimu ami bahu prayojana. Your body is my principal Your body is my principal instrument for executing many necessary functions. By your body I shall carry out many tasks. Bhakta Bhakti Krishna Prema Tatvera Nidara Vaishnavera Kritya Ara Vaishnava Achara. You shall have to ascertain the basic principles of a devotee: devotional service, love of Godhead, Vaishnava duties, and Vaishnava characteristics. Krishna Bhakti Krishna Prema Seva Pravartana Lupta Tita Udara Ara Varagya Shikshana. You also have to explain Krishna's devotional service, establish centers for cultivation of love of Krishna, excavate lost places of pilgrimage, and teach people how to adopt the renounced order. Nija Priyastana Mora Mathura Vrindavana Tahaneta Dharma Chahi Karite Pracharana. Mathura Vrindavan is my own very dear abode. I want to do many things there to preach Krishna consciousness. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to accomplish many purposes through the exegetical endeavours of Srila Sanatana Goswami. First, Sanatana Goswami compiled the book called Brihad Bhagavatamrita to teach people how to become devotees, execute devotional service, and attain love of Krishna. Second, he compiled the Hari Bhakti Vilas, wherein he collected authoritative statements from scriptural injunctions regarding how a Vaishnava should behave. Only the endeavours of Sri Sanatana Goswami were all the lost places of pilgrimage in the Vrindavan area excavated. He established Madan Mohan, the first deity in the Vrindavan area, and by his original personal behaviour, he taught how one should act in the renounced order, completely devoted to the service of the Lord. By his personal example, he taught people how to stay in Vrindavan to execute devotional service. The principal mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was to preach Krishna consciousness. Mathura and Vrindavan are the abodes of Lord Krishna. Therefore, these two places are very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he wanted to develop their glories through Sanatana Goswami. Matara agnya ami vasinila chale tahan dharma shikayete nahi nija bale. By the order of my mother, I am sitting here in Jagannath Puri. Therefore, I cannot go to Mathura Vrindavan to teach people how to live here according to religious principles. So that's most unusual. His mother, the love of his mother, is controlling him. Ita sabha karma ami yedehe karimu ta chadite cha tumi kemane sahimu. I have to do all this work through your body, but you want to give it up. How can I tolerate this? Tabe sanata kahe tomake namaskare tomara gambira hridaya ye bujite pare. At that time, Sanatana Goswami said to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. No one can understand the deep ideas you plan within your heart. Kashtera patali yena kuhake nachaya, apane najane patali kiva nachigaya. In wooden doll chants and dances according to the direction of a magician, but does not know how he is dancing and singing. Yara yache nachao, Ch.Ch kare natane, Ch.Ch nache keva nachaya, sehanahi jane. My dear Lord, as you cause one to dance, he dances accordingly. But how he dances and who is causing him to dance, he does not know. Haridase kahe Prabhu shunna haridasa, parera dravya ino chayena karite vinasha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said to Haridas Thakur, my dear Haridas, please hear me. This gentleman wants to destroy another's property. Parera stapya dravya keha nakaya vilaya nishediha inhare yena nakare anyaya. One who is entrusted with another's property does not distribute it or use it for his own purposes. Therefore, tell me not to do such an unlawful thing. Haridasa kahe mitya abhimanakari tomara gambira hridaya bujite napari. Haridas Thakur replied, we are falsely proud of our capabilities. Actually, we cannot understand your deep intentions. Kon karya tumi kara kon dvare tumi na janaile keha janite napare. Unless you inform us, we cannot understand what your purpose is, nor what you want to do through whom. Ita drisha tumi and hari kariyache angikara, ita sobhagya iyan nahaya kahara. My dear sir, you are a great personality, have accepted Sanatana Goswami. He is greatly fortunate. no one can be as fortunate as he. Tabe Mahaprabhu Kare, Dunhare Alingana, Madhyana Karite Uti, Karila Gamana. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced both Haridas Thakur, Sanatana Swami, and then got up and left to perform his noon duties. So, what is being emphasized here in this pastime between Sanatana Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur is that verse in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, text 15, where it says, Mata Smriti Jnanam Aponam Cha, I am the remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness of the living entity. There's everything. When it says here that the person may dance, but he doesn't know why what's causing him to dance or who is causing him to dance. It was the Supreme Lord, the Super Soul within. So this is what is being emphasized here. Everything belongs to the Lord. You belong to Him. You're His eternal servant. Chivera Svarupa Haya Krishnera Nityadasa Krishna Tadashta Shakti Beda Beda Prakasha. Eternal servant of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Anyhow, we'll continue the reading. Sanatane Kahari Dasa Kari Alingana Tamora Bhagira Sima Na Yaya Katana. My dear Sanatan, Haridas Thakur said, embracing him, no one can find the limits of your good fortune. Tumara Dea Kahena Prabhu Mura Nijadana Tomasama Bhagya Nahi Kona Jana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted your body as his own property. Therefore, no one can equal you in good fortune. And with that good fortune, he will manifest the dedication 24/7 to serving the Lord as his eternal servitor. Nija deha ye karya na parena karite se karya karaiba toma se maturate. What Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot do with his personal body, he wants to do through you. And he wants you to do it in Mathura. Ikarite chaheshwara se siddha hoya tamara subhagya e kahilun nishchaya. Whatever the Supreme Personality of God wants us to do will successfully be accomplished. This is your great good fortune. This is my mature opinion. Bhakti Siddhanta Shastra Achara Nirnyaya Tamara Dware Karaibina Bhaji Ilun Ashaya. I can understand from the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he wants you to write books about the conclusive decision of devotional service and about the regulative principles ascertained from the revealed scriptures. Amara e deha prabhura karya lagila parata bhumite janvid e deha vyarta haila. My body could not be used in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, it took birth in the land of India. This body has been useless. So he's lamenting. Therefore, although I took birth in the land of India, this body has been useless. For a further explanation of the importance of Bharata Bhumi, when we refer to the Adi Leela, chapter 9, text 41, and also Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 5th canto, 19th chapter, text 19 to 27, the special feature of a birth in India is that a person born in India becomes automatically God conscious. Has that possibility, automatically. In every part of India, and especially in the holy places of pilgrimage, even an ordinary uneducated man is inclined toward Krishna consciousness. And as soon as he sees a Krishna conscious person, he offers obeisances. India's many sacred rivers like the Ganges, Jamuna, Narmada, Kaveri and Krishna. And simply by bathing in these rivers, people are liberated, become Krishna conscious. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Bharata Bhumite Haila Manushya Janma Yara Janma Sartaka Kari Kara Para Upakara. One who has taken birth in the land of Bharat Bhumi in India should take full advantage of his birth. He should become completely well versed in the knowledge of the Vedas and spiritual culture and should distribute the experience of Krishna consciousness all over the world. People all over the world are madly engaging in sense gratification, and this way spoiling their human lives, with the risk that in the next life they become animals or less. Human society should be saved from such a risky civilization and the danger of animalism by awakening to God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness movement has been started for this purpose. Therefore, unbiased men in the highest echelon of study should study the principles of Krishna consciousness movement and fully cooperate with this movement to save human society. Sanatana kahe toma samakeba ache ana prabhura gane tomi Mahabhagyavan. Sanatana Goswami replied, O Haridas Thakur, who is equal to you? You are one of the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, therefore you are the most fortunate. Avatarya kare prabhura nama prachare se nija kare prabhu karena tomara dvare. The mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for which he has descended as an incarnation, is to spread the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord. And instead of personally doing so, he is spreading it through you. So the chanting of the holy name is the most important thing. It's Yoga Dharma. Pratyahakara tina laksha nama sankitan sabara agekara namera mahima katana. My dear sir, you are chanting the holy name of the 300,000 times daily and informing everyone of the importance of such chanting. Apane acharya ke hena acharya prachara, prachara kare ke nakarena achara. Some behave very well, but do not preach the cult of Krishna consciousness, whereas others preach but do not behave properly. Achara prachara namera kara doi karya, tumi sarva guru tumi jagatera arya. You simultaneously perform both duties in relation to the holy name by your personal behavior and by your preaching. Therefore you are the spiritual master of the entire world, for you are the most advanced devotee in the world. Sanatana Goswami clearly defines herein the bona fide spiritual master of the world. The qualifications expressed in this connection are that one must act according to the spiritual injunctions, at the same time preach. One who does so is a bona fide spiritual master. Haridas Thakur was the ideal spiritual master because he regularly chanted on his beads a prescribed number of times. Indeed, he was chanting the holy name of the Lord 300,000 times a day. Similarly, the members of the Krishna consciousness movement chant a minimum of 16 rounds a day, which can be done without difficulty. At the same time, they must preach the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu according to the gospel of Bhagavad Gita as it is. One who does so is quite fit to become a spiritual master for the entire world. E mata doi jana nana kata range, Krishna kata aswadhyaya rahi eka sange. In this way, the two of them passed their time discussing subjects concerning Krishna. Thus they enjoyed life together. Yatra kala ila sabha godera bhaktakana, purvat kaila sabha rata yatra dashana. During the time of Rath Yatra, all the devotees arrived from Bengal to visit the Kart festival, as they had done previously. Rata agre, Prabhu taiche karila nartana, teki chamatkara, aila sanatanera mana. During the Rath Yatra festival, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again danced before the cart of Jagannath. When Sanatana Goswami saw this, his mind was astonished. Varsara chari masara hila niba bhaktagane, sabasange prabhu milaila sanatane. The Lord's devotees from Bengal stayed at Jagannath Puri during the 4 months of the rainy season, and Lord Ch.Ch. Mahaprabhu introduced Sanatana Goswami to them all. Advaita Nityananda Srivasa Vrakeshvara Vasudeva Murari Raghava Damadara Puri Bharati Sarup Pandita Gadadhara Savabhoma Ramananda Jagananda Sankara Kashishvara Govindadi Yara Bhaktagana Sabesane Sanatera Karila Milana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced Sanatana Goswami to these and other selected devotees: Advaita, Nityananda, Srivas, Rakeshvara, Vasudeva, Murari, Raghava, Damodar, Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, Swarup Damodar, Gadadhara Pandit, Savabhoma, Ramananda, Jagadananda, Shankara, Kashishvara and Govinda. Yata Yoga Karaila Sabara Charana Vandana, Tandra Karila Sabara, Kripara Bhajana. The Lord asked Sanatana Goswami to offer obeisances to all the devotees in a way that befitted each one. Thus he introduced Sanatana Goswami to them all, just to make him an object of their mercy. Sadgune Panditya Sabara Priya Sanatana Yata Yoga Kripa Maitri Gaurava Bhajana. Sanatana Goswami was dear to everyone because of his exalted qualities in learning. Suitably, therefore, they bestowed upon him mercy, friendship, and honor. Shakala Vaishnava Yabe Goda Desha Gela Sanatama Prabhura Charane Rahila. When all the other devotees returned to Bengal after the Rath Yatra festival, Sanatana Goswami stayed under the care of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Doli Yatra Adi Prabhura Sangete Tequila Dine Dine Prabhu Sange Ananda Bodhila. Sanatana Goswami observed the Doli Yatra ceremony with Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, his pleasure increased in the company of the Lord. Purve Vaishaka Mase Sanatana Yaba Aila, Jaishta Mase Prabhu Tandre, Pariksha Karila. Sanatana Goswami had come to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri during the month of May. And during the month of May-June, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tested him. Jaishta Mase Prabhu Yameshvara Tota Aila Bhakta Anurode Tahan Bhiksha Yekarila. In that month of May-June, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the garden of Yameshwara, Lord Shiva, and accepted prasad there at the request of the devotees. Majana Bhiksha Kale Sanatana Bolaila, Prabhu Bolaila Tanre Ananda Bodhila. At noon, when it was time for lunch, the Lord called for Sanatana Goswami, whose happiness increased because of the call. Majane Samudra Valuka Nache Agni Sama Sepata Sanatana Karila Gamana. At noon, the sand on the beach was as hot as fire, but Sanatana Goswami came by that path. Prabhu Bolangche e Anandita Mane Kapta Valukate na Papode Tahanai Jane. Overwhelmed by joy at being called by the Lord, Sanatana Goswami did not feel that his feet were burning in the hot sand. Toipaya Poksha Ahila Tabu Gela Prabhustane Bhikshakari Mahaprabhu Karyachena Vishrame. Although the soles of both his feet were blistered because of the heat, he nevertheless went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There he found that the Lord, having taken his lunch, was resting. Bhiksha Avashesha Patra Govinda Tare Dila Prasada Pane Sanatana Prabhu Pashe Ahila. Govinda gave Sanatana Goswami the plate with the remnants of Lord Chaitanya's food. After taking the prasad, Sanatana Goswami approached Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu kahe kon pata aila Sanatana, tena kahe samudra pate karilu nagamana. When the Lord inquired, "For which path have you come?" Sanatana Goswami replied, "I have come on the path along the beach." Prabhu Kaya Tapta Valukate Kamana Aila Singa Dvare Pata Shitala Kene Na Aila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, how did you come through the beach where the sand is so hot? Why didn't you come by the path in front of the Singa Dvara gate, which is very cool? Singa Dvara refers to the main gate on the eastern side of the Jagannath temple. It's the lion gate. Tapta Valukaya Tamara Paya Hela Vrana Chalite Napara Kemana Karela Sahana. The hot sun must have blistered your soles. Now you cannot walk. How did you tolerate it? Sanatan Kaya Dukkha Bahuta Napailon Paya Vraha Anakche Taha Najanilun. Sanatan Goswami replied, I did not feel much pain, nor did I know that there are blisters because of the heat. Singa Dvara Ite Mora Nahi Adhikara Vishishe Takurera Tahan Sivakera Prachara. I have no right to pass by the Singa Dvara, for the servants of Jagannath are always coming and going there. Sivaka Katagati Kare Nahi Avasara Tarasparshahila Sarvanasha Abe Mora. The servants are always coming and going through it, going without interval. If I touch them, I shall be ruined. Here it is very clearly indicated that priests performing deity worship should be careful to keep themselves completely pure and not be touched by outsiders. Sanatan Goswami and Haridas Thakur think of themselves Mlechas and Yavanas because of their past association with Mohammedans, did not enter the temple, nor even travel on the path in front of the temple gate. It is customary for the priests of temples in India not even to touch outsiders, nor enter the deity room after having been touched. This is a very important item in temple worship. So if they're feeling like that, how should we feel towards the servitors, the pandits of the Jagannath temple? How greatly fortunate they are to serve the Lord. Shuni Mahaprabhu Mane Santosha Paila Tushtahane Tanre Kichu Kahita Lagila. Having heard all these details, Ch.Ch. Mahaprabhu, greatly pleased, spoke as follows. Yadyapyo Tumi How Jagat Pavana Tomas Parse Pavitahaya Deva Muni Gana Tatapi Bhakta Swabhava Maryada Rakshana Maryada Parana Haya Sadhura Bhushana. My dear Sanatan, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe, and although even the demigods and the great saints are purified by touching you, it is the characteristic of a devotee to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of the Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. Maryada Langane Loka Kare Upahasa Iha Loka Paraloka Doi Haya Nasha. If one transgresses the laws of etiquette, people make fun of him, and thus he is vanquished in both this world and the next. Maryada Rakile Tushta Hoile Muramana Tumi Aichena Karila Kare Konjana. By observing the etiquette, you have satisfied my mind. Who else but you will show this example? Eta Bali Prabhu Tanre Alingana Kaila Tanra Kandu Rasha Prabhura Shianga Lagila. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Sanatana Goswami, and the moisture oozing from the itching sores on Sanatana's body smeared the body of the Lord. Bara bara nishedana tabukare lingana angerasa lage dukkha paya Sanatana. Although Sanatana Goswami forbade Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to embrace him, the Lord did so, as his body was smeared with the moisture from Sanatana's body, and Sanatana became greatly distressed. Emate sevaka prabhu dune gara gela adina jagananda sanatera milila. As both servant and master departed for their respective homes, the next day Jagannanda Pandit went to meet Sanatana Goswami. At that point we will stop because there's another leela.
You still here?
Yes.
Because I have to prepare.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please continue.
Yes.
Hariya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariya Raya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govindaram Srimad Sudanam.
Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. Gopal Giridhari Gopina Madana Mohan. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Rupa Sanatana Prata Raghunatha. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raghunatha. Ch.Ch. Goshair Kori Charana Vandana. Chahoite Bhikana Abhishta Puran. Ch.Ch. Goshai Chandra Muni Tandra Dasa. Tansabara Padarin Mora Panchagrasa. Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivasa. Janame Janame Mor E Abhilash. Ch.Ch. Goshai Jabe Braja Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Ananda Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Jayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koriya. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Saparikar Shishi Guru Garanga Gandhava Govinda Sundar Giridhar Ji Gopal Ji Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Shishi Guru Garanga Radhi Giridhar Ji Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pransa Parivraka Chari Varastota Shara Shishi Bhakti Nirmala Chari Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pransa Parivrakacharya Vakstotara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Raj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pransa Parivrakacharya Vakstotara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Rakakshira Dev Goswami Raj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pransa Parivrakacharya Vakstotara Shata Shishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Shira Gauri Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Shira Sachidanand Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Shira Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanugu Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachara Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Nanti Kota Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Shri Baladev Vidyabhushan Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Shamananda Srinivasachari Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai. Sapashat Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sapashat Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakon Radha Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shraddha Bhakta Vignashaya Vignashaya Shri Nishingadev Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhara Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Ganga Jamuna Ji Ki Jai. Rantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Vishwa Vaishnava Raja Sabha Ki Jai. Akaramat Raja Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Tadiya Shakamat Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Vishwa Vyabhi Tadiya Shakamat Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Ki Jai. Shri Dham Navadvip Ki Jai. Vrindavan Purushottam Dham Ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ji Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Kund Ki Jai. Shri Shadashiva Gangadhar Ji Ki Jai. Samaveta Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Itai Ko Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. Shri Bhakti Nirvacharya Dev Goswami Raj Ki Jai. Radhagiri Daju Ki Jai. Thank you.
Shall I leave that there?
Yes, please. Hare Krishna.